let's talk about tonight. You're the reigning United States National Speedway champion. You don't have to race in this qualifier because you're the champion. But you could have raced. You could have raced in this, but we talked about it. You could tell about it. Let's talk about that.
Well, I feel the right thing to do is I don't feel like taking points away from someone else that's deserving and out there trying to make whether it's their first nationals or their last nationals. Obviously my points aren't going to count, but I could be a deciding factor. I could be a spoiler for somebody. So with that in mind, I honestly don't think it's fair for me to ride. So that was the decision taken upon that.
We've got one rider from the East Coast. We've got a couple from up north. It's going to be a heck of a field. There's 32 riders here, racing for 14 spots.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, Costa Mesa is probably one of the trickiest tracks in the United States. So, the guys with experience are definitely going to have a little bit of an edge, but it's always nice for the Southern California crowd to see guys from Northern California, especially the East Coast and other parts of the United States.
One thing I talked to Brad about this too. This racetrack is going to be part of the deal tonight too, because this is the big boy track tonight. There's a lot of dirt out there tonight.
Oh man, maybe I took the wrong night off. Yeah, no, the track looks great, so it's cool, and it's great for the kids to be able to ride in a big prestigious meeting like this. The fans are going to be able to see the mini class with the 150 entry level bikes as well as the 250cc. So no, I'm looking forward to a great show. Always a great show here at Costa Mesa.
Now throughout the night, you're in the first. Let's say you're in the first heat. You set up like on a regular Saturday night or whatever, and you see that the track is going to be fast. You go back and you're wrecked like on Wednesday night. I went out and watched you on Wednesday night, and you went out and raced your first race. You immediately come back and you're changing the gears or you're moving things, changing things. Is that what somebody's going to do tonight? They're going to change gear to go faster? How does that all work?
It's all rider preference, but you're always kind of chasing it. If your bike's hard to ride in your first race, then you might wait for the track to come to you. But typically the track gets slicker, so you would try to set your bike up more and more aggressive as your body gets warmer, and as you kind of get into it a little more. It always takes your first race is kind of, especially first couple laps, you're feeling the track, you're feeling your bike. But then after that, you would go with more of an aggressive setting, whether that's gearing, moving your wheelbase forward. We get as tricky as ignition timing and jetting. Most of the guys do. So, there's a lot of different factors that, and it might be, you might be setting your bike up for the start as opposed to the 4-lap race. So there's a little give and take there.
Being a former rider myself and observing, it seems like the riders today, especially the entry-level riders, are over-geared, especially on these small tracks.
Well, that's definitely up for debate, I would say, but I think it goes both ways with that. If the track is slick, it tends to be more forgiving. If there's quite a bit of dirt on there tonight, it takes an awful lot of strength to hold a Speedway bike down, especially on these tight corners here at Costa Mesa Speedway.
But don't you see, some of the guys that come out here and they're entry-level guys, and they can't get the bike to turn, whereas if they had it buzzed up, it's a lot easier to ride. They can't get the thing to turn, they go on the fence.
Yeah, without a doubt. I would say any entry-level guy getting started in the sport, you're gonna save yourself a lot of heartache, a lot of time, and probably a lot of money to get some schooling before you go out. Because Speedway is a technical sport. It's probably different technically than any other motorcycle you'll ride, but nevertheless, it is technical.
And the starts are the most important.
Well, I'd have to disagree with you there. I like races won from the back myself as a fan and as a racer. Some of my most enjoyable races are won from behind. So, again, that's up for debate.
Now, you guys always surprise me, especially you and Gennaro, on the choice of the starting gate. Now, this is going to come into play tonight. Whoever has the most points gets the start. Get the choice of the gate. And sometimes you guys don't take the pole.
Well, yeah, and that gets a little bit tricky, especially when you have 5 riders on such a small starting grid. Gate 1 isn't necessarily the best gate. It's certainly not the quickest way to the first turn, because you almost have to turn right before you go left if you're at gate 1. So, You know, I would say being 2. I mean, I've won nationals with 5 riders out of 2, and you know, I've seen it throughout the years as well. So, I mean, it'd be interesting to do some stats on that and see what big races have been worn out of what gates, because that's an interesting statistic.
Next Saturday, June 22nd, Billy Hamill Speedway Academy, and you're going to teach the kids how to ride.
We hope so, man. That's what we're looking for. Kids with motorcycle experience, and like I said, we ask you to pick up a flyer, RSVP, and we're going to have fun. We're going to get started early at 9 o'clock. We'll be on track, and we'll be able to come to Orange County Costa Mesa Speedway that evening to do some racing.
Thanks for stopping by.
Right on. Have fun, everybody.
All right, put your hands together, ladies and gentlemen. The current United States National Speedway champion is Billy the Bullet Hamill.
There you go. All right.
All right.